Lisa, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
And especially post Royals, this is your interview.
Yes.
First thing, how's the feedback been so far? It's a good start.
It's auspicious.
It's auspicious. Correct. Yeah. Yes, we are meeting post Royals. How has the feedback been? What did you hear? Good things, bad things?
I think the feedback has been honestly overwhelmingly positive in terms of ratings. Today we found out we're the #3 most viewed series in the entire world.
Nice. Okay.
So, and we're only 4 days into the release.
Right.
So I'm assuming it'll grow even more in the next 1 week. So people are tuning in. Everybody's watching. We're getting viewership from like Cyprus and Greece and Italy and Brazil. So it's nice to see that the world is tuning in to Indian content. But of course, I think reviews will be mixed because the genre is different.
Right.
I think after a long time, people are seeing a pure romance, like the Mills and Boone type of, big flourishing romance. And I think we've almost forgotten that genre. So it'll take some time, I think, to grow on in people as something they remember and feel nostalgic about, because I feel like this country for so long we excelled at making romances.
Absolutely. So when I this is a very interesting role that you did. What was the initial brief from the directors? Right? Did you prefer reading, or you took a brief from them?
I took a brief. So I did my test with a brief about the characters, a short brief. The one-pager just said that it's going to be this headstrong, entrepreneurial, self-made woman, and she has this really great friendship with the boss of the company, who happens to be her best friend. And a lot of the focus will be on that friendship. So I was anyways already keen, because I mean, we hardly get to see female friendships being done justice on screen.
True.
So that was really lovely. And then the second part of it was that it would be a same-sex story. And I mean, that makes no difference to me, because I just feel that it's the same as any type of love.
Yeah, true.
So I was very happy to read this character brief, and I saw a lot of myself in it, being self-made, being from this big city atmosphere, and I thought I could bring that into Nikki, and I think that's what people have seen. It's come off apparently, according to them, as fairly authentic and relatable.
Yeah, the same-sex part is dealt very normally, nicely, like it should. No review I read made it a big deal out of it, and good, we are progressing in that way. But what is it like on the set? Like, what is that like? What is that day like for you? Do you have to mentally prepare, because it's different from a love story that you would do in movies or something?
I think the only preparation I went into with, especially the same-sex love angle, like I said, was just to treat it like any love story. In my first series, I was opposite Vidas, and that's a heterosexual love story. And that was fine. And I just thought about it as, people fall in love the same way. And if you treat it with that delicateness and that level of intimacy, it'll be fine.
Right.
And so I didn't really psych myself out too much. I was very happy to do this role, and it came off, very smoothly for me as a process.
Right. Are you someone who makes friends on the set? How was this set? How was the shoot?
I can't survive being on set unless I make some friends. I made friends with everybody.
Oh, okay.
But definitely, I think the biggest friendship I have out of this, and it's now been 1 year since we filmed the show, is with Bhumi.
Nice.
And there's a lot of reason that the chemistry for us on screen came off as effortless as well, because we became naturally close throughout this filming. And some days we would feel like everything that was going on in our lives was actually happening on screen, and vice versa. And I think she's just a fantastic girl's girl. She's always lifting up her female co-actors and rooting for women, I think, in general. And I felt very supported, because on a set like this with such big industry names, especially they're all highly regarded actors. They're not just stars, but they're kalakars. They're really respected for their acting. It was intimidating. So having her champion me every day was amazing.
Right. Now that you know her, do you understand her success more, but why she is where she is? What's there to learn from her?
She puts on in so much work and preparation into everything that she does. Before every scene, she runs the lines with the co-actor, whoever's in the scene with her. She needs time to prep before or on set, because she really wants to get in the mind and brain of the character every time. And there's a reason that she's one of the best actresses in the country. And she can pull off pretty much anything at this point. But it's because of preparation. She's never unprepared.
Wow. What's Kavya like?
Kavya's a joy. She's so sweet and fun to be around. I think so much of the reason our love story felt so naive and soft and tender is because of her. I think that's her personality.
Nice. Okay.
She's very nurturing and very almost like motherly. If anyone has like a sore throat or a cold, she has this bag of medicines and she brings them to everybody and says, drink this kada, have this medicine, sleep for this many hours. So she's very much a caretaker.
Nice. And what about Ishan? Like, is he very aware of his six pack? Everybody looking at it.
I think poor guy. Even he's gotten to the point that he's so aware. He's sick of his own six pack because it's taken up so much of his energy and time on set. But it goes without saying. I think Ishan puts a lot of effort into looking the part and being the part.
Yeah. True. You're not new to fame. You do music, but is this different in a way, like you were saying in your first answer, that it's reaching Greece and what kind of countries? How is this so different?
It's completely different. I think music is obviously something that connects the world over, but it's hard when there's a language barrier. If I'm singing in Hindi, it's not a global language. It's mostly concentrated to South Asia and pockets of NRIs. So it's hard for my music to reach all over the world, unless there's Indians.
Right.
But the great thing about acting is dubs. And it makes everything you do immediately accessible to everyone. And then you're on global platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime. So people everywhere can tune in and watch. So I'm getting tagged from countries everywhere that people are loving the show. And it was really nice to see so many people are watching it in the original language.
Right.
And Netflix is great at being able to do that. Some people don't want to see it in the dubs. They want to just read the captions.
Right. Our music space is so different and so Bollywood dominated. Here, most of the music is Bollywood, but we are reaching a point where there's so much indie music and good artists coming from everywhere. Are you seeing a change? Do you see this space growing? Because what has happened is that in the past year, even Priyanka Chopra tried, she cut an album and she sang, but maybe that was too ahead of its times.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there was not as much knowledge that this could be done when she did this about 8-9 years ago. And what's strange is we had this tradition in Indian film 60 years ago. We had Kishore Kumar and we had all these people who were actor-singers and who were multi-talents. So somewhere in between, I think we forgot that. And it's nice to see it coming back, but it's a global phenomenon. Everywhere in the world, we're seeing musicians who are starting to do big acting roles. Ariana Grande did Wicked. Lady Gaga's done multiple films. Selena Gomez is, so many years now she's been on screen and is a successful musician. Lisa from Blackpink did White Lotus. So I'm seeing that trend shift towards India as well. Because obviously our biggest superstar currently is Diljit. And,
absolutely.
Totally setting the path for musician actors.
And he does music and he does films as well.
He's phenomenal at both. And I think the only thing you have to make sure you're doing is earnestly putting in lots of effort.
Right.
Because then only people will take this multi-hyphenate thing seriously. Otherwise, they'll be like, oh, it's a musician attempting to be an actor.
That's true. But since you said, Hindi is there's an audience for it here and globally. But would you like to just try English, which would travel everywhere?
Yeah, I think, naturally, it's the easier language for me. But, I would still do it with an Indian touch. I think both sides are very authentic to me, and I'm both Indian and American. So I couldn't abandon one for the other. And in my last album that came out last year, that's what we did. It's a Hindi-English album. The entire thing has both languages, has different types of sounds. If it's a Hindi song, it's sounding like an American song with Hindi lyrics. So we've been very successful at doing that. Even since my launch, even Tarifa was, the way that I've sung it is very R&B, but it happens to be a Punjabi song.
Right.
So I'm trying to make, this little movement towards desensitizing us and getting ready for this sort of global takeover.
Nice. Though we are inching towards that at a slow pace, do you see a big pop star coming out of here? Do you see?
I hope so. And I hope it's a girl, because I would say about 70% of the biggest global superstars in music are women.
Yeah.
And we have a handful of incredibly successful men. We have obviously The Weeknd, Drake, Bruno Mars. And then it's just women.
Yeah.
It's Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande, Gaga, Beyonce. Exactly. So all what we consider superstars of pop are women. And Diljit is already there.
Yeah.
And he's making this mark. Karan is there making this mark. I'd love to see one from a woman and two from a different language. So I want to see what's the potential of Hindi or a South Indian language globalizing, and how does it feel when a woman is building that fan base.
True. There are girls trying, and they are on stage when there's a Lollapalooza. There are many names that we see. Yes. But the thing is, why is it? Do you see this slow? Why is it slow?
It's of course it's slow. I think we in India took a long time for women to step out of playback singing.
Okay.
And men were always the composers, lyricists, music directors. So they would call the shots. It's like how we are in acting and in film. Is you have to do justice to the director and the writer's vision.
Yeah.
Just the same in music.
Okay.
The reason I think it's been slow is because now only women are taking on this added responsibility of composing, writing.
Okay.
So the more we have agency in these spaces, and the more we push and brand ourselves, the more it will grow. Because all these superstars that we're mentioning global are writers also.
Yeah, true.
They're composers also. Yeah. So I think, the onus is on us. And the other thing is, when you do all these things on your own and you have a percentage stake in things, then you don't have to ask for permission.
Right.
And you're not waiting for an opportunity. So I think things will move much faster in this generation.
Wow. So if you were, firstly, is there an album coming anytime soon? And
I think I learned a lot from last year that India loves singles.
Okay, singles,
so
right.
I think it's going to be mostly singles this year.
Okay.
I think people prefer singles here because you can really focus on one song at one time.
Right.
And really love that song and put a lot of energy behind, making sure everybody hears it. And so the next thing I'm doing, it's just coming out in 2 weeks.
Oh.
My next song is a beautiful, romantic, slow ballad. And I'm very proud of it. I think it's the best song I've ever made.
Okay.
And I've co-composed this, so I feel like, so much of myself is in this. And that's going to be the rest of the year. I think I think I'm in the mood because of Royals to bring romance back in a big way.
Good, we need that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of heartbreak, a lot of darkness. So I want to just write and release love songs.
Amazing. So could you tell me the process of this and how do you start and how do you sit back? Okay, now it will be a romantic song, which is next. This is how it goes.
I think, your life imitates art, art imitates life, and that I just have stuck with that the whole time. I think when I'm in a lower space or I'm in a space of heartbreak is when I write those songs.
Right.
When I'm feeling uplifted, positive, I tend to write love songs. So it happens to just be that. I think this year I'm feeling a lot less burdened. Okay. And I feel a lot more open and positive. So I'm mostly going to be writing, love songs and happy things. Fingers crossed, guys. Don't send bad luck my way.
Nobody is doing that. Tell me, you did Call Me Bae, you did this. These are definitely for you and for your family, must be big lifelong dreams.
Yeah.
You're a Chicago girl. Yeah. You grew up there. Most people I speak to who are there don't want to come back. They come here, do their holiday, and then they are back to the good American life that they say. What makes you stay here?
I think, I mean, this sounds so funny to say. As a musician, I think we have the most superior level of music in the world. Yeah. I think Indian music is incredibly complex. It's beautiful. It's so, formatted, and there's a way we do things that's just complicated and has its own, math and science behind it.
Right.
So I think that's always what's attracted me to the way that we make music. And as an NRI, I think I just grew up watching these beautiful love stories on film. And I wanted to go to the source, you know, and like you said, rightly you said, it is a dream because NRIs love one thing more than anything in the world, and that's Shah Rukh Khan. And, which means it's Dharma. It's a Karan, Johar, Shah Rukh Khan, Dharma situation. And so definitely it was a dream for me that my launch was in Dharma with Call Me Bae. And I could not believe I was on these sets in spaces that are, you know, things I could never dream of. I don't think I had like a right to dream so big when I was growing up. So I think that's what, you know, you get these chances only when you come to the source. And of course, I could be one in a sea of people in America attempting to make their mark, but it felt so much more correct to be in the home of Bollywood where this music and film is being made.
Right. You know, tell me, since you've lived there, what is with NRIs and Shah Rukh Khan and Dharma and Yash Raj? Because if we make 1,000 movies a year, these movies are not even 5 if you count. What keeps people coming back to these 5 movies all the time?
You know, hats off to Yash Raj for introducing the genre of NRI films.
Like a DDLJ.
With DDLJ. And then what came after this was, you know, 15 years of incredible films between Yash Raj and Dharma, which were Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Kal Ho Na Ho, K3G, and even non-Dharma, you see things like Dil Chahta Hai. So that exposure abroad, I think that's all it is. For Indians living abroad, it was this meeting point between what they left behind and where they are now. So it made us feel connection. And then it's like, oh, I could be Naina in Kal Ho Na Ho because she's running to, you know, the Brooklyn Bridge and she has this life that's familiar to me. She lives in this neighborhood and it looks like what I know. So I don't have to imagine myself in Badrinath. I can imagine myself in Brooklyn.
So Dharma and Yash Raj bridge the gap, you feel. Yeah, they travel there, they showed Switzerland, they show Brooklyn Bridge, and they show...
And you know, obviously, all of us are in the Alps in saris. That's all we do.
That's all you all do. Right, that's so interesting because, like I said, there are not even 5, 6 movies that we can count.
But it's all we wait for. All year, we're just waiting for this one, like, what's the next?
How many times have you watched these movies?
I know every line of most of these films. I think I have raktoed all of them. Definitely by heart. So
it is a generation. It's your generation because the next generation may be watching something else. Is
totally.
It?
And the next generation was globalized. So they have the world. And that's why you see, you know, so much Korean content, so much anime, so much everything else, Spanish content. So this current generation is watching, you know, Money Heist in Spanish. And they're watching all of these K-dramas. But our generation really holds on to the NRI romances of the 90s and 2000s.
True. So is that also the reason, if you understand this, is that also the reason there's been no other Shah Rukh Khan after that?
I think so. I think that he has such a special place in everybody's hearts that he and what Karan Johar and what Yash Raj did, they sort of invented this genre of big sweeping love stories. And because before that, it was a generation of tragic love stories. And like there was always this epic battle in the end where the hero or the heroine would die very tragically. It was very Romeo and Juliet before Shah Rukh. Shah Rukh's films gave us this hope of like, it'll all work out in the end. And sometimes you do die. But we'll figure out a way. We'll marry you off to Saif Ali Khan. We'll be fine.
Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal. You win anyways.
But do you feel upset that he and Karan and Yash Raj, they stopped making those? That's it.
I would love another generation of these films. And I think they're getting back to this.
He's doing Jawan and Pathan and action. He's not going back to love stories.
Come back to love story. Or make it Dear Zindagi and I want to be in the second one.
Nice. That's a good one. So, you know, tell me, what I was asking is, do you stay here? Do you go back? Are you shuttling 2 countries?
I stay here. I committed day 1. I decided I was going to move here. I got an apartment and I never looked back. So it's been 7 years now. I go home twice a year. Once during the holidays in the winter and then once in the summer for 1 month.
That's home or this is home?
I think at this point I have to say Mumbai's home.
But do you go there for holidays and it's changed? You used to come here for holidays.
I know. It's very bizarre because now I'm at an age where like my friends are getting married. They're starting families. And it's strange because I skipped almost this decade of life by living here, where we've all grown up. So it feels strange to go back there, and it's become this flip. Because when we were growing up in America, every time we would come, some cousin of mine would have a baby. But now when I go there, my friends are having kids, and I'm like, oh, when did this happen? We didn't agree to this.
Every girl goes through this, that my friends are getting married, someone is having a baby. Is this, do you take that pressure that, okay, it's
guys,
could be next?
I'm Amir Khan in Dil Chahta Hai. I'm just enjoying life. I'm just masti kar rahi hu.
Best. Right. You want to tell us a little more about your song? Can we hear a line? And otherwise, you want to share something that people don't know about the upcoming song?
Yeah, the upcoming song is this, like, you know, there's this feeling of like overwhelming amounts of love. It's kind of like All of Me by John Legend. It's like that level of love that you feel unconditionally, that you would do anything for somebody. So the song's title is Teri Hoon, and it's going to come out in 3 weeks, but I can sing a little bit of it for sure.
Great.
ढूंढा दोनों जहानों में कहीं तेरे सिवा कोई नहीं, मेरी तो सांसों में है लिखी तू ही, तेरी हूँ हर एक हाल में पास तेरे रहूं, तेरी हूँ हर एक हाल में साथ तेरे रहूं.
Incredible. You know, like another person comes in you when you're singing. Beautiful. Great note to end on. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Lisa Mishra, and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.